I'm glad we're rolling on that because that's going to be on my intro, Dalton. They can hear that. Do you think they could hear that, Nick?
Faintly, yes.
Yeah.
You maybe have to scream louder, but.
So, by the way, I'm using this in the intro. This whole exchange.
I was fixing my hair, trying to.
Because that's the kind of season we've had covering Texas A&M. It's just been that difficult, Kay Negley.
Did you have to come in here yelling, screaming?
It's hard.
Sometimes.
What do you do to get away when this is your livelihood? You have to go to school too. But
yeah.
Like when you work, you're thinking A&M sports, right? Mm-hmm. What do you do to get away?
I've become a little numb to it now. A good workout on a Sunday has helped a little. Like after App State, I was going to the gym on Sunday. I'm not even gonna lie, and I was a little angry, just like, and not even like, what did I do? But I was still feeling the pain from it.
I appreciate the workout into the talk show that so many people get upset about. I love that. So you continue doing you. Episode 2904, the Go Hour. Guess what we got into?
A lot of Olin Buchanan, I guess.
Yeah, he was there. He was good. And we talked about the Aggie loss, as we did throughout the entire show. TexAgs co-owner and executive editor Billy Liucci gave us his thoughts, so we kind of went into everything beyond the flu game and all the issues that we've seen all season long. That was good. Tom Hart was with us, and we got a little bit into the Astros World Series championship. And then also Billy and I talked about the all-time best Houston sports moment. You know why? Because there isn't a lot of good going on. But tonight, what's happening?
Texas A&M men's basketball coming back.
That we like. Women's basketball is about to start too, so good times had by all. Watch the rewind.
Hey, everybody on defense, everybody. Number 6 had 105 yards rushed and scored 3 touchdowns in the first half. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to key on number 6.
Yep.
And they might beat us, but number 6 isn't going to do it. And, of course, A&M never, maybe never's too, but I don't see it, ever uses any kind of misdirection with A-Chain to think, okay, this is where the ball's going. Oh, no, wait, he doesn't have it. You don't see reverses. I've seen successful reverses run by the opposing team now. I know Auburn had a successful, Florida had a successful one. A&M never does any of that stuff. It's A&M's pretty much, okay, this is what we do, and if we can't physically beat you, then this play is not going to work because it doesn't. Now, I'm probably being not 100% factual here, but that's the way it comes off.
Well, it's been interesting. This year, there was a couple of words or terms that are now bad words. In execution, and 3-4 defense. Those 3 men front. Those are those give you like I almost want to
like vomit?
Yeah, there's a physical reaction, yeah. And before I could
Connor Wigman?
Yeah. Before I could have handled those words, but this season, though, that line and that word puts me in a bad state.
All right. That strikes me now, as a coach that just does not know what's going on, how to fix it. That coach is at a loss.
Yeah.
Because you can say that. Every team on every play that fails can say, well, we didn't execute. When go back to the first year, A&M's going for 2 to try to force overtime against Clemson. It blows up. Well, we didn't execute.
Yep.
A&M needs 2 yards to nail down a victory over LSU last year. Well, they run a really bad – well, you know what? We didn't execute. You can say that all the time. When you get now 9 games into the season, and you're repeating we're just not executing. The play was there, we're execute. That's no longer an excuse. That's no longer an explanation. Now it's like, well, why the hell aren't you executing? Is your scheme that bad? Are the play calls that bad? Have you done such a poor job in development that your players are incapable of executing? But to just say, oh, it's execution, that's not going to fly anymore.
Yep. No, you're right.
There's still plenty to be excited about, but that excitement is very tempered. It's almost like it's on hold outside of watching, I want to see the Wigman-Stewart connection. I want to see what this offense, how it opens up for A-Chain and what A&M can do on the road against Auburn and really a really good improving LSU team. But back to the original statement, man. I don't root for any of these guys. It affects A&M's future.
Yeah.
College, so Texas is they're doing pretty good. They're a week removed, not a week. They're a game removed from losing on the road to an Oak State team that has been humiliated in 2 weeks since. 48-0 to Kansas State, and then humiliated by Kansas this weekend. The last time Texas played before Saturday at K-State, they lost that one. So they're riding this little roller coaster where they want to say we're back. I look at their schedule and think they could end up in a Big 12 title game and maybe even win it. If they did that, then it's a different conversation. You don't take anything away from them. But they haven't done that yet. They're 6-3 with TCU, Baylor, and a road trip to Kansas left. So we'll see. But I don't like them getting game day for the second time. I don't like them. If I'm a Longhorn fan, I do have reason to be optimistic and excited. I don't like that with what's going on here. I don't like how Freeman has been able to turn around something in 1 year to the point where they rebounded like they have, whereas we're looking at year 5, what's happening here this year. I don't like what I'm seeing Brian Kelly do in year 1 at LSU. And more than anything with the Brian Kelly thing, it's because Jimbo generated a ton of excitement in year 1 here. He did. Now, he didn't go contend for the West. I don't like what Brian Kelly's doing from the standpoint of it just highlights to me, David, when I look at that and I look at how close the Aggies were to beating Alabama, with all these issues, and I know Bama had Milroe, but it was right there, and with all A&M's issues and problems and how many times they shot themselves in the foot, it never in 11 years in the SEC has that West been as there for the taking as it was this season. And that's when I see LSU probably win the West, that's where that frustration comes in. And when I see Ole Miss with a chance, as the other team with a real chance to win it in year 2 under Lane Kiffin, and year 1 under Brian Kelly. I guess it's year 3 under Kiffin. But that's where I have an issue. That's where it frustrates you because it really hammers home how attainable it was this year, and that's what I'm writing about today. Is had A&M, you know me, how many times did we talk? I thought A&M was overrated at 6.
Yep.
I thought they should be in the top 8 to 12, okay? Had they been a top 15 team in the first half of the season and not number 6, they're probably undefeated. Obviously Miami, they beat Miami, Arkansas. They certainly would have beat App State and probably Mississippi State. And then we saw the way Bama, especially if you're going to say, well, Milroe's playing against, you don't have to face Bryce Young. They probably are undefeated in the first. If they're close to what we thought they were, not even the national people, but what we thought, what I thought they were going to be, which is top 12-ish team. So it's frustrating to see that.
I was thinking my friends who bet need to jump on Florida immediately. I mean, that is a huge college football anyway, but that was like a COVID-like absence. I mean, that is a monster number for a team that had been dealing with consistency issues already over the course of the season. To ask guys who haven't played a ton to be able to go out there and execute, I think is too much to ask. And then looking at it through the prism of how the offense has scuffled, why it's scuffled over the course of the season, I was really excited to see Connor Wigman be under center and to see what he could build on after the week prior. I really thought the offense was making a move. And the receivers were still great. Tight end was great. But that's obviously a major difference. And Haynes King seems to still be bothered by the foot injury. There wasn't a whole lot of running. I was honestly surprised. I didn't know who was going to start at quarterback when I flipped the game on. I didn't know what was going to happen because Haynes didn't attempt a single, to our knowledge and ability to view, the week before, he didn't attempt a single right-handed warm-up pass. And so for him to be able to come out and even get the ball down the field surprised me a little bit, and I thought he did the best with what his physical limitations were for the game.
Tom, this Aggie team fall from whatever preseason expectations we had locally, nationally. What does it remind you of? You've covered college football for a long time. Do any other comparisons to what we've seen this year? Notre Dame kind of went through it for a little bit, but they have obviously fixed their situation.
Man, well, I'm okay. It's a little bit different, but I'm sitting right outside of the Kentucky basketball practice facility, and if you think about what John Calipari's team went through over a 2-year period, not just their COVID year was horrendous and under 500, no chance at the tournament. Everybody got their shots in on them, and then losing to St. Peter's. That's a pretty rough 2-year period, and there's some consistencies in the protection provided via the head coach's contract. So that's similar, but you have two very demanding fan bases, and I think fan bases get most upset when expectations get out of whack one way or another. Usually, I don't want to say usually, but it's not uncommon. Think what North Carolina football went through a couple of years ago. Might have been last year. Mac Brown came out and said, hey, listen, he was almost a fight. He's like, it's on you all for having us ranked so highly preseason. I tried telling people who were listening, we weren't ready to be that good. We had a lot of holes. That message hasn't come from A&M, and I understand why, because of the recruiting success and especially this year's class. But obviously, if you tamp down the expectations preseason, then you look at the year in hand differently, and I think that needs to be taken into perspective.
Broninger called it the greatest sports moment in Houston. Greatest moment in Houston sports history. I say it's second. I think Jose moment.
Okay.
The Rockets' back-to-backs were unforgettable. 2 NBA titles in a row, but moment, I would say it's second. My number one.
Jose on the Yankees.
Yeah, because I don't know how many. First of all, when Jordan hit that, there was 3 more innings to be played. I know it certainly felt like it was over, turning over to that Astros bullpen, but there were 3 more innings. Altuve was a walk-off. The heartbeat of Houston, Jose Altuve, the Mount Rushmore Houston athlete, maybe when it's all said and done, to hit a walk-off against the New York Yankees in Game 7 to go to the World Series I don't know how many times a walk-off at home, Game 7 home run to go to the World Series has happened. It's a short list. Mazeroski, yeah. Was that the Giants won the pennant? Was that one?
The Giants won the pennant, yeah.
But there aren't many. Bronny pointed out one a few years ago with, the Giants beating maybe the Cardinals, hit it off Waka
right
to beat the Cardinals. But it hasn't happened often in the history of baseball. 3-run home runs to give a team a lead in the late innings of a Game 6. That's happened before. Yeah. It was incredible. I was really glad I was there. I missed the Altuve one. I've been to so many of those postseason games. And to be honest, Nuno, I hadn't seen a World Series win live and in person since the 2 I went to when they beat the Dodgers. Because I went to all those Nationals ones. They lost all of them. And I went to Braves, Astros last year, Game 6, and they lost that one. So I was on a little bit of a skid. We needed, if they'd have lost that game, I probably was going to not go to Game 7 on principle just to ensure Houston's championship.
I was going to say it's probably not as big because the platform or the game itself wasn't as big, but Mario Ellio's Kiss of Death to me, it's to me it's number one because of my youth.
I mentioned it.
Yeah, but I'm saying for me, just me personally.
Bronny and I were talking on the way over there. I mentioned that, and that was incredible too. But I just think
for the
World
moment.
Series, the magnitude of it, and the fact that it happened in Houston. The Kiss of Death 3 was in Phoenix, and it was that Game 6, and then they won it in 7.
I thought that was Game 7.
Might have been, but that sent them to the NBA Finals too, right? Yeah.
Yep.
It's up there. I mean, I would probably honestly say that might be my top 3. I don't think I don't think the Oilers or I don't think the Oilers or Texans certainly.
It was Game 7, 1995. Yeah.
Okay, so the second year, yeah. I think I'd go Altuve, Jordan, Ellie in that order.
Okay, what Spanish do you know?
Ooh, not a lot. I'm about to go to my German class right now.
What German do you know? Can you say anything about the football team in German?
Let's see. What's the word for loss? Galusen, I'm pretty sure.
Galusen?
Something like that.
A lot of galusen happening here. So just do us a favor, like,
Comment,
and
subscribe. I don't know that in German.
yeah, just do that, and you can comment below. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you.